This playoff recap is brought to you by IBC Bank. IBC Bank, we do more. 7 to 7 Dental, a better kind of dental practice for the whole family. And by Greg Sherman Videography. Call 419-902-3353 for all your videography needs in San Antonio and the Texas Hill Country. Last week in the state quarterfinals up here in Pflugerville, Falls City defeated a team that had 3 state championships in the 20-teens and an outstanding running back. In the semifinals back here in Pflugerville, Falls City will take on a team that has 3 state championships in the 20-teens and an outstanding running back as the Beavers rematch with the Mart Panthers. Last year, these teams played up the road in Georgetown in the 2A Division II state semifinals. Falls City was the only team that was able to keep it close with Mart in the entire playoffs, but the Panthers scored 3 touchdowns in a 3-minute span in the fourth quarter to pull away from the Beavers, and they would go on to win their 2nd straight state championship and 3rd of the decade. The Beavers held JT Anthony of Bremond last week in check. He had just 110 yards rushing, 69 of those on the last carry of the game, and a 35-28 win. Mart has an outstanding running back themselves in Rodrell Freeman, number 10. He's up and over 1,800 yards rushing on the season, about where JT Anthony was at coming into the game last week. Again, the teams met last year in the state semifinals with Mart winning. Would history repeat itself with Falls City defeating another quality opponent to get back to the gold medal match in Arlington? Or would history repeat itself and Mart beating Falls City to get back to the state championship themselves? Well, let's check out all the action from here at the P Field in Pflugerville, brought to you as always by IBC Bank and 7 to 7 Dental and Orthodontics. Head coach Britt Hart excited and ready to go during the pregame warm-up, shaking the hands of every single Beaver player. The winner would move on to play Hamlin in the gold medal match and be a heavy favorite over the Pied Pipers. Beavers had success moving the ball throughout the night. Unfortunately, when they threatened to score, the Panther defense bowed up and kept turning FC away. A full moon on Friday the 13th usually means odd things will happen, and they did. Opening FC drive, 4th and 2 from the 34. The snap was high and went through quarterback Brady Lissey's hands. With no place to go, he just had to eat the play and a turnover on downs. Next Beaver drive reached the Mart 44. Lissey threw into triple coverage and the ball was tipped around and picked off by quarterback/defensive back Kyler Martin. Martin made key plays on both sides of the ball throughout the contest.
They came out strong. Defensively, we made too many mistakes in the first half. The turnovers, we should have called some different plays. I mean, a bad snap hurt us a lot.
Them getting those turnovers, that was a huge momentum swing for them, and we kind of dug ourselves in the hole we couldn't get out of.
Meanwhile, Rodrell Freeman looked more like Barry Sanders than a high school junior. The Beavers had trouble all night tackling number 10. It wasn't that Falls City played poorly on defense, but rather he's just an outstanding tailback. 3rd and 4 at the Beaver 13, Freeman ran left, found the hole just like Barry Sanders, then broke through 2 tackles at the goal line for the touchdown and a 6-0 lead. He added a pair of 2-point conversions later in the contest. Next drive for Mart, FC had a chance to get off the field 4th and short for Mart at their own 41. But Keyshawn Clatter took the handoff, broke a couple of tackles, and reached midfield to move the chains. Yards after contact were huge for Mart. Later in the drive, Dylan Lundy ran left on a 5-yard touchdown run. 2-point conversion made it 14-0 Mart. All but one of their drives in the game took at least 5 minutes off the clock.
I thought we could kind of contain their speed, but they were a little bit faster than what we expected. But turnovers hurt us in the middle and at the beginning of the game, and we just couldn't overcome those. And when you're playing a team like this, you've got to be able to control the clock. You've got to have some breaks, and we didn't get those tonight.
Next Beaver drive, now 4th and 6 at the Mart 34. Lissey rolled right through into double coverage, but came up short, and it was intercepted by Trey Medlock at the 4. If you want a good idea of how strong Freeman is, watch this play. He broke a tackle in the backfield, found the small hole a la Barry Sanders again, and picked up 10 yards. The drive started with a highlight and ended with another. Lundy, now quarterback, passed to Marion Medlock. Watch these Jerry Rice moves around the defense. FC played good defense, but Mart just had outstanding talent, which is why they have 7 state titles in school history. 22-0 at recess. Freeman had 74 rush yards in the opening half, while FC was outgained 225-55, and Mart finished with 281 rushing yards.
He's a special player. I mean, for him to be at a small school like this, that's just something special they have. He's a special player. They have all kinds of special players all over the field.
You just got to make sure that you wrap up, try to build a fence around him. You know, I thought that we controlled him most of the night. I just didn't think that we controlled their speed on the outside when they were doing the handed sweep.
Second half, Beavers finally got a couple of defensive stops, but Mart drained out the clock in a game that lasted barely 2 hours. Fourth quarter, final offensive play of the year for FC, Lissy broke a tackle at the goal line to break up the shutout. He added a 2-point conversion, but Mart looked like the two-time, most likely to be three-time defending state champions. Final seconds ticked off as the coaches shook hands. Mart wins 28-8.
It hurts when you lose the semifinal game and you get back and you do all that hard work and all the summer. I think that you left it all out there. Guys, I'm extremely proud of you. You know, you had a hell of a season. Not too many people, less than 1% can say that they've been back-to-back semifinalists.
That says a lot about this program. That shows how we fight, our resilience, how hard we work each and every week, and how much better we get throughout the year. So, I mean, it's nothing to hang your head on to lose Mart. It's a goal you want. You want something more.
They were a little bit better up front than what I saw on film, and like I said, hats off to them and hats off to our kids for fighting.
When you put all the time and effort in, you know, you look at the pain and how close you were to it, but at the end of the day, you know, if they're the three-time defending champions, then you gave it your best.
It's a good team right there, you know. They're the defending two-time state champions for a reason.
Well said, indeed. While there wasn't a lot to smile about in the game, there is still a lot to smile about on FC both this year and the decade, brought to you by 7-7 Dental and Orthodontics, open 7 days a week. The Beavers went to the quarterfinals or beyond 8 times in the 20-teens, by far the most in the area. They went to 2 finals, second most behind Steele's 3, and along with Steele, each won titles in 2010. No one else from the area did. They won district titles in 9 of the 10 years. And barring an upset in the finals by Hamlin, it'll be the 4th time in the last 7 years that the team that ended Falls City's season went on to win the Golden Trapezoid. And by the way, the Beavers have a lot of sophomores and juniors coming back in 2020. Brought to you by 7-7 Dental and Orthodontics, open 7 days a week, including Sundays, and along with IBC Bank, both are proud sponsors of the San Antonio high school sports scene. IBC Bank, we do more. Reporting from Pflugerville, I'm Greg Sherman.